Okay, last one from Chapter 7, Section F. This is from 7F22 exercises, practice exercises. This one gives me another long truth table. It says to decide whether these statements are consistent or inconsistent. It is not R or S. If R, then P, and finally P and not S. Okay, so these, it's going to take a little while because I have, again, an R, an S, and a P, so I have 3 statements. So I'm going to need 8 rows. I'm going to write R, S, and P here because that's the order I see them in. It doesn't really matter, but that's the order you're going to see in your truth table as well. Let me go ahead and mark off my 8 rows. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Go ahead and write down my complex statements, not R or S. If R, then P. And P and not S. Okay. Now I'm just going to go ahead and fill out all the R's and S's and P's, and you've seen me do this many times by now, so I'll just do it quickly. True, 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 false, 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 true, 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 false, 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 true, 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 false, 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 false. Now for my S, true, true, false, false, 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 true, true, false, false. Hard to get the whole truth table in there. So big. Now P. So true, false, 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 true, false. Okay, it is big. There's the whole truth table. Now I just need to get the other operators done here, or the operators done here. Again, it may look tricky, it may look difficult just because it's so massive, so many things to do, but really just go step by step. Again, not looking for partial credit, just so you need to go step by step and go carefully. But once you just understand the basic idea for how to fill out a truth table, if you are careful, it's pretty easy to avoid any mistakes and get the problem right. So let's just start with this one, not R or S. I have a choice between a tilde or working within the parentheses. I want to start within the parentheses. So I want to do the disjunction first. Okay, for that I just need to see if R is true or S is true. Either one's good enough. So true and true gives me true. True and true gives me true. True and false gives me true. True and false gives me true. False and true gives me true. False and true gives me true. And then false and false gives me false. False and false gives me false. Now the tilde will be the opposite of that column, the wedge column. So it should be, you notice here it says true, 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 false, false. So I'll just put true, true at the bottom. The rest of these come out false. Okay. That's my main operator here. So by the way, you can already tell if I'm testing for consistency, this statement's false everywhere except for right here, the bottom 2 rows. So if I'm testing for consistency, I can really just start by focusing on those 2 rows. Those are the only possible 2 rows where they could all be true. Okay, moving on to the conditional. It's going to tell me that if I see a T under R, then I need to also see a T under the P for this statement to come out true. But it's also going to tell me if I see an F under the R, then the statement is true. So I see an F here, 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 and here, so I can go ahead and just fill those in. Those are going to come out true. I know that's unusual again, but you just need to get used to that. Now, the rest of them, I can say, okay, well, if I see a T here, which I do in all these cases, I need to see a T here for this to come out true. I see that on the first row, I see it on the third row, but not on the other 2, so I can go ahead and put F in there. That's my my truth value there. Okay, that's my main operator. So I'll circle it, you'll click it. Now, so far I can tell you that, again, focusing on these last two rows, this also came out true on those two rows. So far, these could be consistent. But now we need to look at the third one. Okay, choice between the dot and the tilde. Always start with the tilde in that case. Right, so I'm going to start here. It's just going to be the opposite of what I see under the S. So it'll be false, false, true, true, false, false, true, true. Okay, now I need to do the conjunction. It'll only come out true if both conjuncts are true. And again, I'm looking at the P and looking at the tilde. So true and false, false, false and false, false, true and true, true, false and true, false, true and false, false, false and false, false, true and true, true, and then false and true, false. That's my main operator there. I barely have room, don't really actually have the room, but I'll pretend like I do to circle that. Okay, so again, I'm just going to focus on the last few rows. I know that both of these first statements came out true in this row. This one comes out false in the last row, but it comes out true on the next to last row. So here's a row right here where this is true, and this is true. So these are consistent. There is one scenario, namely the scenario where R is false, S is false, and P is true. But in that scenario, all these statements come out true. So they are consistent. There's at least one case where they're all true. Okay. That's the last one I'll do for section F from the practice exercises. I think that gives you the basic idea, hopefully, of how to work these out. By this point, filling out the truth table should be relatively familiar. And hopefully by now you can see how to test for consistency and inconsistency. Okay, let me know if you have any questions.